Brother Naija Season 10 came to a close, and Imisi Ayanwale emerged as the winner of that Season 10, taking home 80 million naira in cash as part of the 150 million naira grand prize. Now let's just oppose that with what happens when some other Nigerians also distinguish themselves in academic excellence and success, and then you find funny cash prizes. In fact, it has bad in certain climes as first class overall best graduating students going on with 10,000 naira. In some places where it's more reasonable, you find 100,000 naira. And then you lock up some people for maybe some weeks or months, and then they're doing whatever you think they're doing, and the person is going on with 80 million naira, 150 million naira. It's really sparking so many conversations in public sphere. Whether or not it's a product of not having priorities well set for educational attainment, I think it's important to take another look at that. Maybe not deeply today, maybe in subsequent conversations, to look at how we could really encourage education development in Nigeria through engagements such as this. There was a time you find competitions such as Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. That's by private organization.
Those years, actually a test of knowledge.
So well said. So, what exactly is government supposed to do to encourage education? You know, this is important at this time, Alex. If you consider how some people are now saying school is a scam, education is a scam, and all of those things. But you will also bear witness that education is not a scam. Our priority is something that we need to reset. What do you think?
I totally agree with you. These are BB Niger. I'm not really a fan, but I think I've watched a few seasons. I discovered that it's actually a platform to champion moral decadence. And that speaks volumes of our society, like you said, not setting our priority right. Somebody like that can just walk in, understand what the audience they really need, in terms of giving them the content they so desire, and at the end of the day, he walks away with 150 million naira. And somebody is in school, somebody is into, technological innovations, is into research, and he's just getting nothing or something not even worth it. And so you look at that, should we call it injustice, or I don't understand.
Well, I think it also brings to question what exactly the National Orientation Agency is doing in terms of promoting academic excellence, which for me and for many reasonable Nigerians is the bedrock of development, a total all-round development. It's important to really look at how we set our priorities. Now, if you look at the Nigerian sphere now, technical education is fast becoming a thing of the past. Many technical colleges are behind lock and keys. Are under lock and keys. Many trade-inclined institutions are not functioning as they are supposed to be, and there are no initiatives to really encourage these institutions, to encourage participation in those institutions. You also look at all these crafts and tradesmen. Now you hardly find a mechanical technician who has apprentices up to 5. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Many people have cars. You could bear witness, and then they will tell you that people are no longer learning. They call it handwork, and you're wondering what exactly
those institutes were actually created or formulated to actually power the technical and the practical aspect of our education. But it's so unfortunate that they are not working today. The government should really do something about it. And also, this private sector, should government continue to give them the leverage or the freedom to just express, all in the name of promoting moral decadence. Government has to come in a way that it will actually promote the value for education. That people, it's not just about getting involved in it. Entertainment is good, but somehow it has to contribute to the national development. So if it is not, then I think the responsibility is on government to do something about that. You understand? It's okay. We congratulate the winner.
Of course, we're not beefing the winner.
At all. I wish even it's okay.
But it's
Nothing
important
bad
that
about
we must, on a
Of
more
course, we have
serious
to address the
note,
issue, speak to
we
the
must
issue.
look at how we will promote education at all fronts: technical education, adult vocational education, and then the conventional education in every way we can. The private sector should also look at how to promote all of these things. What is more, it's important to also look at how we elevate the pedestal of corporate social responsibilities in the private sector so that they're also contributing one thing or the other in societal development. I think recently the Ondo State government is also looking into that area. It's not in my power to mention names of companies, but I see that there's now something being done around Fiwashari roundabout, and I think that there should be more in the coming month or years. So it's important that the private sector must contribute beyond just paying tax. We know that they make much more than the tax they're paying. There should be profitable engagement with the people.
Corporate social responsibility.
Corporate social responsibility is very important.
Another thing we also need to look at in the issue in the educational sector is our curriculum. To what extent is the curriculum we are actually working on? To what extent is it still working? Is it actually achieving that target of educational relevance that we so desire? You understand the point?
Well, I think beyond the expectation, it's also important to look at what are our challenges. One thing that keeps me going back to watch certain innovations and creativity from the Chinese, Japanese, Taiwan sphere is the fact that it's right from the cradle that they ensure that their children are taught the basic things that they would need in their society until and except we tailor our education to be challenge driven. That is, we tailor our education to solve problems. If our education is not solution driven, if our education is not providing the basic solution to our basic needs and basic challenges, then it's a failed system. It's not just a question of saying we are practicing 6334 today or 4336 or whatever mode we're talking about.
It's
the
about
content of our education, the substance of our education curriculum must be looked into in such a way that it is actually solving problems. I think that's important.
I told your line of reasoning. It's about it as a matter of fact. The concept of education is not the certificate driven. We are so certificate oriented about, sometimes when they read your citation in the public gathering, that boosts your ego. But more importantly, it should be about solving problems. Somebody told me a story about someone, an expatriate. I went somewhere to actually get a job done, and the job was so difficult, they couldn't solve the problem. Somebody from nowhere, I think a Malaysian guy who had a diploma somewhere, he came in and solved the problem. That speaks volume. It's not even about the certificate. It's about what you know. It's about the capacity and the ability to solve problems. It's about to be a solution provider.
We're not talking about employment, provision of employment and the employability of the graduates. It's one thing for you to be a graduate. It's another thing for you to be employable. Like someone was asking someone recently and said, if you're the owner of this company, would you employ yourself? You understand? So it's important as a graduate, ask yourself, if I am the commissioner in charge of this ministry, will I employ myself? Or if this person is that, will this person also employ that other person? I think it's important that we look into that.
Honestly.
Right, that does it on this segment of conversation. It's been an engaging engagement, and of course we've been able to look into several issues that have to do with development of society. Before we close shop, we'll take yet another break, and then we'll be right back, everyone. Please stay with us. All right, that's is the size of the outlook this morning. Well, thank you for being a part of AM Today this week. It returns next week, God willing. For my colleague, Alex.
Thank you, Sunday. It's really been a nice time joining us on today's edition of AM Today. Never mind, the conversation continue in all our social media platforms with the handles displayed on the screen. All you need to do is like, make your comment, subscribe, or as the case may be, to get the conversation going. We return next week, God's willing. Alex Adejo is my name. Goodbye.
And I'm Sunday Kolawole, urging you to enjoy the rest of the week. Good morning.